Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Fine.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum, teacher. We are doing great. How about you, teacher? Hello, good evening, teacher.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, we have got writing, I think. Yep. So, we're going to go over the next session, the next part of the lesson, which is coherence. We have already discussed what was unity, and tonight we'll talk about what is coherence. What is coherence and how to bring coherence in a text? Because coherence is one of the important issues in writing section, so we will discuss that one tonight. So before going on to what is coherence, who can tell me the idea on what it is? First, we have Miss Sahar.
Okay. What is coherence? Coherence is the quality of writing in which ideas are logically connected and flow smoothly from one sentence to the next. In a coherent paragraph or essay, each sentence supports the main idea and is clearly related to the sentence around it.
Okay, very good. Miss Ferishta.
Okay, teacher. So as our classmates mentioned, coherent assignment is something that it relates some sentences together. For example, this. In here, we say this, it means that it refers to the main idea. So that's why that in here we can say coherent relates sentences to the main idea and relate each sentences to each other, teacher, in my perspective.
Okay, thank you. So, Miss Sumaya, what's your perspective here? What is coherence, and most importantly, how to bring coherence? Miss Sumaya Muhammadi, can you hear me? Okay, your mic is off.
It means that the sentences in a paragraph are logically connected and flow smoothly from one to the next. The word comes. Yes, teacher.
Okay, right now it's audible.
Okay, teacher.
So,
Coherence in writing means that the sentences in a paragraph is logically connected.
excellent. So, we'll hear Miss Bilqis on how to bring coherence. That's the next question.
Okay, teacher. So, as our classmates mentioned, that coherence means when we want to write something, our ideas must be connected clearly and logically. So the reader should understand our message or our idea and shouldn't be confused.
So when we want to use coherence in our writing, or we want to be we want our writing to be coherent, we have to use transitional words, and also we have to follow a logical order. We shouldn't bring all the sentences in a great order. And also, we should have a good main idea, and all the sentences in a paragraph should support that main idea or the topic. And we should use the pronouns carefully, and we should use transitional words and jump from one sentence to another sentence carefully. So if we use coherence, our writing will be very clear and understandable.
Excellent. Yeah, it was a great conclusion. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you very much for your great opinions. So, as you have said, coherence, that's a logical connection. When it comes to the word coherence itself, it is taken from the word cohere. Cohere simply means stick to something, or hold something. So that's what we have as coherence. So cohere itself, it is a foreign language word. It is not from English. It is coming from a foreign language source. So coherence itself, coherence, as I said, we can say the logical and smooth flow of ideas in a certain text. It is what we have as coherence. It means when we talk about, or when we try to write about a specific topic, we have to go on step by step. We have to explain the ideas that we want to provide, or we want to write in a text. So they should be step by step. It should not go on the way that we should jump from one idea to the next idea without any specific connection, or without any specific flow of idea. So that logical connection, the overall and logical point that we may explain inside a text or inside our writing, that's simply what we have as coherence. So now the thing is, when I asked how to bring coherence, that's the most important question. In order to bring coherence, we have 3 to 4 ways. So I will just name here, and then we will go ahead one by one explaining how it works, how the first way works, how the second way works, and so on. The first one is repeating the keywords. When we want to bring coherence, or when we want to logically connect one idea to the next idea, we have to repeat key nouns, keywords especially. So from those keywords, the first way is using and repeating the key nouns repeatedly. How? Consider we have a text. I may write the text here. So it is our paragraph. We may have it. So our paragraph may have, consider this way. So we have this as a paragraph. It is our paragraph. We want to bring coherence by repeating the keywords once and often. At the beginning, we might write the word student. So student is a keyword. So after 2 or 3 sentences, again, we might repeat the student again, student. Or then it is a keyword. We will repeat it again. So student will be repeated again and again. So we will have this one again. For example, I may write again the word student because it is our keyword. So into the entire passage, we will repeat that keyword once and often, right? So this is the first way to bring coherence inside our text. We will repeat the word. It shows that we are discussing about the same topic and it will go on smoothly. Look, if I, for example, here use student, and then the next part if I say teacher, and then the next part if I say university, for example, the next part I say college, so it will be a different topic. It will not discuss about the same idea. So that's why repeating the key nouns especially would help us a lot in order to bring that logical connection and the smooth flow of ideas. So repeating the key noun, repeating the keyword in throughout our text will help us to bring that smooth flow, that step-by-step connection throughout our writing. It might be in our email, it might be in our academic discussion task, or when we are writing a personal experience essay. So any kind of writing. So it is the first way that we can have that same logical and smooth flow of ideas. This way, when we repeat the ideas, this way we can somehow keep unity as well. If you remember, the last session we talked about unity. Unity was the idea that all the passage will talk about one and only one main idea. Think if you repeat that keyword, so that would be the same topic throughout the text. So that's the thing, and it is recommended by the linguists that when we are writing a text, we better use a plural noun at the end. Plural noun of the word, sorry, not at the end. Plural noun because when we use the next part, or when we use a substitute pronoun, so we should not somehow use he or she again, so it's kind of repetitive. So one way was using and repeating the key words frequently. The second way to bring coherence is using pronoun substitutes. So that's the second way, using the pronoun substitutes consistently. So that's the second way to bring coherence. It also helps us to bring and keep the coherence. Think I will copy this one again. So in the next part, I'll paste it here. I'll paste here. For example, we may have it. So in this part, I have the student, right? In the next sentence, I may use the pronoun instead of it, because if we repeat one word and always one word repeatedly in every sentence, it will make our writing out of style. So for example, if I repeat student is like this, student is like this, student is like this, so it kind of destroys our writing style. So in order to keep the writing style and at the same time keep the writing coherence, it is preferred to use pronouns substitutes. Substitute means replacement. For example, here in the first sentence I used students. In the next sentence I may use, for example, they. Okay, or the next sentence I have here used students. Again, in the next sentence I may use they. So it is a good substitute in order to write. This way we can use to go ahead with the write and step-by-step connection between ideas. Again, I can repeat. For example, I have had here student, and the next sentence I use they instead of students. Got it? So we have plural noun, then we have a plural pronoun substitute. The same way, like that, we may have, for example, students, and the next line we may repeat but with a pronoun substitute. It means one time we go ahead with the keyword repetition, the next time we use a pronoun. So this way it helps us to keep that coherence, that we want to achieve throughout our text. So this is what we have, the pronoun substitutes. The good writing will have all these two features. It is not that if we only repeat the keywords frequently, we will have coherence. No, we have to have all these two techniques. So these two are the first techniques in order to bring coherence. The third way to bring coherence is using transition signals. So using transition signals, that's the third way in order to bring coherence, using transition signals. When I talk about transition signals, I don't only mean conjunctions. Transition signals are different. We have different types of transition signals. The first of them, let me write here, are conjunctions. The first are conjunctions. We have conjunctions as part of transition signals. The second part of transition signals would be conjunctive adverbs. They are the second part of transition signals. And we may have others as well. Others, simply, they can include phrases. They can work as transition words. We may have prepositions that might work as transitions. Okay, we may have other sentences even often work as transition signals. Okay, transitions. So before going to transition signals and how to use them, let me go on with what is transition itself. What is a transition? When we call transition, what do we mean? So transition, simply, if I tell you with a real world experience, think you want to travel from place A, for example. Think you want to travel from Kabul to another province. For example, let's consider Herat. You want to travel from Kabul to Herat. We have location A. So we want to travel to location B. Got it? It is our travel destination. So now, how do you want to travel? You have to use a transporting machine, right? You may use a car, you may use airplane, you may use other ways of transportation. So here we have, for example, place A, we may use a transporting machine. You have to use, otherwise, so you will hardly reach to your goal. Got it? So here we have two locations. Location A, you want to travel to location B. So you need something to go from one place to another place. Now, when it comes to transition signal, we don't have place, actually. We don't have place. Here, the two destinations or the 2 points are our ideas that we want to put connection into it, right? Think we have idea A. There is idea A, and then you want to connect it to idea B. You will have idea B. Now, how do you connect these two ideas? How do you somehow transit idea A and connect it to idea B? How do you form connection between them? So in order to connect these two, we will use a transition word. So that's the function of a transition signal. When I call a transition signal, it means the word which connects, for example, idea A to idea B, like a transporting machine, which helps you go from position A to position B. So here, connectors or transition signals, they help you go from idea A to idea B. That's the function of transition signal. That's the function itself. Now, in order to have the right connection, we have to use the right transition signal in the right position. So the first kind, or simply type of transitions, is conjunctions. Again, we have three types of conjunctions. We may have coordinating conjunctions. That's the first way, coordinating conjunction. Second is the subordinating conjunction. That's the second one. And the third type of conjunction is called correlative conjunction. That's the third way. So these are the three types of conjunctions that connect idea A to idea B. Or when you want to go from idea A to idea B, we may use them based on the situation that we have in our text. So here, coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions are fun boys. They're fun boys. We have them. It is a shortcut which you can easily memorize them. F stands for 4. 4 is the first one. Stands for 4. And A stands for and. N stands for nor. B stands for but. O stands for or. Y stands for yet. S stands for so. These are coordinating conjunctions that may connect idea A or sentence A to sentence B. So they work as connectors. So here we have these transition signals, these conjunctions. I will tell you what they function, or what's their function. Anytime we want to use for, it shows reason. When idea A is connected to idea B, and we want to show the reason of idea A, so we will use for. It shows reason. The next is and. It shows addition, or it is used to show addition. Shows addition. It means a similar idea. And if we have nor, it shows negative addition. Two negative ideas are connected using the word nor. So that's what we have. But shows direct contrast. When two ideas are in direct contrast, or they oppose directly, we may use the word but. Or shows alternative or option. Yet shows unexpected result. Or it is also called indirect contrast. That's the next thing. And so shows result. It shows result, expected result. So these are the fun boys that we may have in our text. So, is it okay? I mean, do you know them how to use, or should I make example for each of them? It's okay?
Excuse me, sir. Can you make an example for that?
For but? Yet. Okay, so let's go ahead. I will shortly make a sentence for each of them, for all of the 7 of them. For, think I may say Mr. Javed, if you have the idea. Mr. Javed wants to, for example, wants to go to supermarket, and then we use comma, we say for he needs to buy something for dinner. So we have here the 2 ideas. The first idea is Mr. Javed wants to go to supermarket. It is the first sentence, or idea A. Now we have got a comma, and then we have coordinating conjunction. The word for here shows that why Mr. Javed wants to go to supermarket. Why? For he needs to buy something for dinner. It means this is the reason he goes to supermarket. It shows the reason. So for is introducing this idea. If you have addition, you can give me your examples as well in the chat box. You can write them. So we can have for and. Think I may say the computer technician, the computers, or they say the software engineer. Software engineer works on the programming part of the application, and the web designer. Let's see. For example, we have web designer works on the front end of the application. So we have 2 sentences connected using and. The first sentence is here. We have the software engineer works on the programming part of the application. It is one idea. Then we have comma, then we have and. And it means it is additional idea, another similar idea. And the web designer works on the front end of the application. So it is connecting 2 similar ideas. When we have nor, for example, I may write here, nor connects 2 negative ideas. Think I may write if I say the computer technician couldn't identify the network problem. And then we can use nor, and here often we have inversion. Nor did he tell us what to do, for example. Nor did he tell us what to do. It means he didn't know or she didn't know himself, and nor did he tell us what to do. Got it? So it connects 2 ideas. When we use the word nor, the structure that comes after that is positive, but the meaning it conveys is negative. It works like never. You know, when you say he never comes late. So the sentence structure is positive. We don't have any not, but the meaning it conveys is negative. So direct contrast. If you have bat shows direct contrast. 2 ideas are opposing each other. Think I might write here the the programmer knows, the programmer knows how to code an application, but he or she doesn't know how to network it. So here it shows that the programmer knows one thing but not the other one. So here we have the first idea, and it is connected by using but with the second idea. That's what we have, but it's easy. Or is alternative, shows alternative means option A or option B. Think we may write here, if I ask, do you want to stay here, or do you like to go with us on a vacation, for example? So it is connecting two sentences. Which sentences or which questions are connected here with the first one and the second one? So these two are connected using or. Yet shows indirect contrast or unexpected result. So shows expected result, yet shows unexpected result. Look, if I tell a very simple sentence here. Think I may say, my friend learned programming, for example, programming for 5 years. Yet he can't design, or he can't code a simple calculator. So what does it show? Look, when you use yet, it means the result is unexpected. My friend learned coding or learned programming. Here we have learned programming for 5 years. So when someone learns coding for 5 years, what do you expect them? You expect them to be able to code very well. It is expectation, the right expectation. But when we use yet, it means something which is opposite happens, which is the opposite result happens. Yet he can't code a simple calculator. It means it is not expected result. Or one more sentence. Think I may write here, Ahmad studied English for 3 years. Yet he can't speak a word. Look, when someone studies English for 3 years, what do you expect them? You expect them to be able to use words, structures, or simply speak very well. This is your expectation. But when we have he can't speak a word, it is not expected. It is called unexpected result. So when we have unexpected result for a simple action or an event, we can use the word yet. That's why we call it unexpected result. But if we have so shows expected result, something that can be considered as an outcome. We can say Ahmad studied English for 3 years. So he speaks fluently. He speaks fluently now. What is this? He speaks fluently is the result, isn't it? It is the result of what? The result of studying for 3 years. This is the result for that. So that's the difference. When we use yet, it shows unexpected result. When we have so, it shows expected result. This is what we have for conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions. Fun boys. Now let's go to subordinating conjunctions. Before naming what subordinating conjunctions are, let's try out what is the word subordinator. Why we call it subordinator. So, any idea here? Miss Sahar? Yep.
Okay, what is a subordinator? A subordinator is a word that connects a dependent clause to an independent clause. A dependent clause cannot stand alone as a complete sentence, so we use subordinator.
Great. Miss Latifa? Yep.
Okay, sir. So a subordinator or a subordinate conjunction is a word that join or connects a subordinate clause, like dependent clause, the independent clause, or the main clause. So as the master said, the dependent clause can't stand alone, or it needs a main idea. An independent clause can stand alone. It doesn't need any main idea. So it is itself main idea.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now let's get into subordinating conjunction. First of all, why we call them subordinators? That's the question. Why do we call subordinator? Subordinators are simply words added at the beginning of an independent clause and change them to dependent. That's what we have as the subordinator itself. Look, we may have a sentence. The computer works perfectly well. So, isn't it complete? It gives a complete idea, right? So when it gives a complete idea, we call it independent clause. So it is independent clause. But what happens if I have the same sentence? For example, I may write, the computer works perfectly well. The computer works perfectly well. I have this one again. But this time, I may add another word. We may use the word, for example, because. And here we say, because the computer works perfectly well. So what about now? Does it give a complete idea this time? Does it give? For example, the first one we had, the computer works perfectly well. So it was independent. As soon as I added because, it changed to incomplete idea. So that's the function of a subordinator. Because is considered as a subordinator. It changes the type of clause. It changes an independent clause to a dependent clause, or it subordinates an independent clause. So this is now dependent clause. Independent to dependent clause. So that's what we have as dependent. The subordinator itself as well. Now we have different types of subordinators. If I write types of subordinators that we may have in English. Types of subordinators will depend on the type of clause we have, the type of dependent clause, because as we have mentioned, the subordinators change independent to dependent. So the kind of dependent clause will have its own subordinator. We may have time subordinators, we may have cause subordinators, we may have result subordinators, we may have purpose subordinators, we may have condition subordinators, we may have contrast subordinators, we may have for example, for noun clause subordinators, we may have adjective clause subordinators. So if I write here noun clause subordinators, we may have adjective clause subordinators, and they themselves have their own types. For example, with time, with, for example, place, with people, which transition or which subordinators are used. I will just name one of them. For example, time. We may use when. We may use while. We may use after, before, since, and so on. So we have cause again. Cause is used for that. Cause, because, since, as. Because. We may use since. We may use as, now that. So there are the cause subordinates. Result. We may have so that. For purpose, for example, in order that. I'll use one of them here, name them. Condition, simply if, only if, unless. Contrast, for example, we have while, although, even though, though itself. There are the transitions. With noun clause, we have WH questions, WH question words, WH words. We have whether or if, we have that clause. There are noun clause subordinators. With adjective clause subordinators, we may have who, whom, whose, where, when. So there are the adjective clause subordinators. These are what we have. Now, which one is harder that I should tell you and write a sentence here? If there's no problem with them, we can go ahead to the next.
Teacher, make example about adjective clause.
All of them?
No, teacher, just about adjective clause. One example.
With adjective clause? Okay, your friend requested that we should have all of them. Let's see, with time, we'll have one example. So with time, I may write here, when the teacher, let's see, the teacher teaches in a class. The students, for example, listen to him or her. So when do the students listen? When is the time? When the teacher teaches a class. It shows the time. So we have the time clause. Which one is time subordinator? When is the time subordinator. If you have cause, think I may say since they were present at the accident scene. They know what happened. So here, what is the reason they know what happened? Because they were at the accident scene. Or if you have result shows with, it can be shown with so that. They they wanted to get out of the smoky, for example, house, the smoky house, so that they save their lives. Save their lives. So we may have this one. Or if we have with purpose here. With purpose, we may use in order that. That is removed here. Think they practice English every day, in order that they would get a higher score on the test. So it is the purpose clause. In order that, it shows the purpose of their practicing English. It shows their purpose. With if, for example, we have if everyone in this class tries hard, they achieve high scores on the TOEFL test. So what is the condition, or under what condition do they achieve higher scores? If everyone tries hard, right? That's the condition, or under that condition we have. Contrast with while, even though, write them. If you have although, if you have even though, if you have though itself, they're the contrast subordinators. Think what if I write here contrast, although the airports are banned for international flights, people can travel using their personal planes, for example, personal planes. So we have a contrast here. Although it is banned, people can do it. Or if I say although schools are banned for girls in Afghanistan, they find other opportunities to continue their education. So what do we have here? Contrast ideas, two contrasting ideas. Indirect contrast. If we have with noun clause, think I might write here. I would like to know, let's see, for example, I would like to know what your name is. So which one is the noun clause? This is the noun clause, and the subordinator is what here. What is working as subordinator. With adjective clause subordinators, for example, we might say a machine, let's see, a machine that produces the cosmic cosmics, if I say the cosmic, what do you call it, furniture, what do you call, tools, cosmic tools, costs higher than expected, for example, higher than expected. So which one is the adjective clause? This one is adjective clause. That produces the cosmic tools. So here we have that as the subordinator of this type of clause. So it is called adjective clause in the sentence. So these are what we have as subordinators with different types of clauses. The last one, I just named them correlative conjunctions. We have both, and, we have either, and we have or, we have neither nor, and we have not only, and then we have but also. They're also called paired conjunction. Sometimes it is called correlative conjunctions. Other times it might be named after paired conjunctions. So these are what we have. With your explanation and how to use parallel structure, and practicing them, each of them, we will have, and we'll talk about it in the next session. So for now, if there would be any questions,